Please turn to page 121. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. And as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Welcome, everyone, to Shabbat Shalom, to Temple Shalom, everyone here in person and online. It's lovely to see you, especially on such a cold night. Welcome to our accompanist, cantorial soloist, musical wonder, Janet Pelche-Gatz. I am Meryl Gabor, and I will be leading the service this evening. So we will begin with the candle lighting. And we have an extra candle here for remembrance of the hostages in Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Please turn to page 127. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope. Please read it with me. For Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living. For Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness. For Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love, we offer thanks and blessings, O God. And page 128, Yedid Nefesh. Okay, Phil's using sign language.
Try the third candle.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll continue on page 138 with L'chadodi, and we will be greeting the Shabbat bride. At verse 9, you will turn and face the door, and then return to facing the ark. So we're doing verses
1, 2, 5, 9.
1, 2, 5, and 9.
L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, בשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תהילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בא אורך ומאורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נכלא. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובשורה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Thank you. Please turn now to page 142 for Shalom Aleichem. Do you want me to read it?
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zechem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
That always reminds me of my childhood at the Herzliya. When I was a little girl, I went to parochial school, half day English, half day Hebrew, very orthodox. Sort of those memories that flood back when I hear that tune. So we're going to continue on page 144 with the Chatzi Kaddish. And, okay, Janet?
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברך ירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביום איכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו Amen.
Please rise for Baruch Hu.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. HaMevorach HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. We'll continue on page 148 with Mariv Aravim, which I'm going to read in English. Is that the right page? Yes. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the season, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzavot is your name. Ever-blessing, ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, O Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai HaMariv Aravim. And we'll continue on page 150 with Ahavat Olam.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו.
And please rise for the Shema on page 152. Oh, okay. Alrighty then.
Shema
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Elam Avad. You may be seated. Maybe I'll do the next part in English here. Okay. We're going to read on the bottom of 154. There it is. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on your doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments, and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. And we will continue on page 158 with Mi Chamocha.
Mi kamocha belim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar bakodesh, norat hiloto sefele, norat hiloto sefele, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam livnei Moshe Miriam, ze'eli, ze'eli, anu ve'amru, Adonai Eloh le'olam va'ed. Ya la la bim bim bam, ya la la bim bam, ya la la bim bim bam, ya ba bam bam bim bam. Ay ay bim bim bam, ya ba bam bam bim bam. Ay ay bim bim bam, ya ba bam bam bim bam. I sound like somebody's old granny right now. Pardon me.
So we will continue on page 160 with Hashkivenu, which is a lullaby. So you can sing it quietly if you like. Oh dear.
Yes, I'm just clearing a little asthma away. Is that possible to do? I think so. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, v'tachnenu b'etzach tova milfanecha, v'hoshienu b'mam shemecha. Ah, ah,
That's a beautiful rendition of Hashkivenu. So we will continue with Vishamru, which is that the people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all times, on page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת שבת ויהי נפש, שבת שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם.
And we will rise for Tefillah, which begins on page 164.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, אלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל, אלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר אבות ואימהות, ומביא כולם לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי הכל, אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גברות, ומדום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, ודורשים בכל יום הללו הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. And we will continue on page 177. Am I missing something? No. God of goodness. Would you like to read this with me? God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ucha na'ech lehodot. And we'll continue with Shalom Rav, the prayer for peace, on page 178.
Shalom Rav al Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We'll have a few minutes of silent meditation to be followed by Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom, Shalom b'moroma, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom b'moroma. Amen.
And now we will learn a little bit of Torah. Tonight's parsha is Parshat Vayishlach. In this Torah portion, God tells Jacob to return home. Worried that his brother Esau will kill him, Jacob divides his clan into two camps, so at least some will survive in case of a fight. Jacob sleeps alone in the desert and is awoken by an angel who wrestles him through the night. Jacob survives and is blessed by the angel and renamed Israel. Jacob meets his brother, and surprisingly, they embrace. Dinah, Jacob's daughter, is raped by Shechem, who then proposes to Jacob that he marry her. Shimeon and Levi brutally murder Shechem and his clan. Rachel, Jacob's wife, has another child, whom she and Jacob name Benjamin. Tonight's Devar was written by Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks. Jonathan Sacks was a global religious leader, philosopher, and the author of more than 25 books, and moral voice for our time. He served as chief rabbi of the United Hebrew Congregations of the Commonwealth from 1991 to 2013. Rabbi Sacks passed away in November 2023. And this particular writing I found in the Times of Israel. It's called The Jewish Journey. Why is Jacob the father of our people, the hero of our faith? We are the congregation of Jacob, the children of Israel. Yet it was Abraham who began the journey home, Isaac who was willing to be sacrificed, Joseph who saved his family in the years of famine, Moses who led the people out of Egypt and gave it its laws. It was Joshua who took the people into the promised land, David who became its greatest king, Solomon who built the temple, and the prophets through the ages who became the voice of God. The account of Jacob in the Torah seems to fall short of these other lives, at least if we read the text literally. He has tense relationships with his brother Esau, his wives Rachel and Leah, his father-in-law Laban, and his three eldest children, Reuben, Simon, and Levi. There are times when he seems full of fear, others when he acts, or seems to act, with less than total honesty. In reply to Pharaoh, he says of himself, "The days of my life have been few and hard." This is less than we might expect from a hero of faith. This is why so much of the image we have of Jacob is filtered through the lens of the Midrash, the oral tradition preserved by the sages. In this tradition, Jacob is all good, Esau all bad. It had to be this way. So argued Rabbi Zvi Hirsch in his essay on the nature of Midrashic interpretation, because otherwise we would find it hard to draw from the biblical text a clear sense of right and wrong, good and bad. The Torah is an exceptionally subtle book, and subtle books tend to be misunderstood. So the oral tradition made it simpler, black and white instead of shades of gray. Yet perhaps, even without Midrash, we can find an answer. And the best way of doing so is to think of the idea of a journey. Judaism is about faith as a journey. It begins with the journey of Abraham and Sarah, leaving behind their land, birthplace, and father's house, and traveling to an unknown destination, the land I will show you. The Jewish people is defined by another journey in a different age, the journey of Moses and the Israelites from Egypt across the desert to the promised land. That journey becomes a litany in Parshat Maseh. They left X and they camped in Y. They left Y and they camped in Z. To be a Jew is to move, to travel, and only rarely, if ever, to settle down. Moses warns the people of the danger of settling down and taking the status quo for granted, even in Israel itself. When you have children and grandchildren and have been established in the land for a long time, you might become decadent. Hence the rules that Israel must always remember its past, never forget its years of slavery in Egypt, never forget on Sukkot that our ancestors once lived in temporary dwellings, never forget that it does not own the land, it belongs to God, and we are merely there as God's Gerim v'Toshavim, strangers and sojourners. Why so? Because to be a Jew means not to be fully at home in the world. To be a Jew means to live within the tension between heaven and earth, creation and revelation, the world that is and the world we are called on to make, between exile and home, and between the universality of the human condition and the particularity of Jewish identity. Jews don't stand still except when standing before God. The universe, from galaxies to subatomic particles, is in constant motion, and so is the Jewish soul. We are, we believe, an unstable combination of dust of the earth and breath of God, and this calls on us constantly to make decisions, choices that will make us grow to be as big as our ideals, if we choose wrongly, make us shrivel into small, petulant creatures obsessed by trivia. Life as a journey means striving each day to be greater than the day before, individually and collectively. If the concept of a journey is the central metaphor of Jewish life, what in this regard is the difference between Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Abraham's life is framed by two journeys, both of which use the phrase lech lecha, undertake a journey. Once in Genesis 12, when he was told to leave his land and father's house, the other in Genesis 22, at the binding of Isaac, when he was told, take your son, the only one you love, Isaac, and go, lech lecha, to the region of Moriah. What is so moving about Abraham is that he goes immediately and without question, despite the fact that both journeys are heart-wrenching in human terms. In the first, he must leave his father. In the second, he must let go of his son. He has to say goodbye to the past and risk saying farewell to the future. Abraham is pure faith. He loves God and trusts him absolutely. Not everyone can achieve that kind of faith. It is almost superhuman. Isaac is the opposite. It is as if Abraham, knowing the emotional sacrifices he has had to make, knowing too the trauma Isaac must have felt at the binding, seeks to protect his son as far as lies within his power. He makes sure that Isaac does not leave the Holy Land. Isaac's one journey to the land of the Philistines is limited and local. Isaac's life is a brief respite from the nomadic existence Abraham and Jacob both experience. Jacob is different again. What makes him unique is that he has his most intense encounters with God. They are the most dramatic in the whole book of Genesis, in the midst of the journey, alone, at night, far from home, fleeing from one danger to the next, from Esau to Laban on the outward journey, from Laban to Esau on his homecoming. In the midst of the first, he has the blazing epiphany of the latter, stretching from earth to heaven, with angels ascending and descending, moving him to say on waking, God is truly in this place, but I did not know it. This must be God's house, and this gate to heaven. None of the other patriarchs, not even Moses, has a vision quite like this. On the second in our Parsha, he has the haunting, enigmatic wrestling match with the man, angel, God, which leaves him limping, but permanently transformed. The only person in the Torah to receive from God an entirely new name, Israel, which may mean one who has wrestled with man and God, or one who has become a prince, Sar, before God. What is fascinating is that Jacob's meetings with angels are described by the same verb, pagah, which means a chance encounter, as if they took Jacob by surprise, which clearly they did. Jacob's most spiritual moments are ones he did not plan. He was thinking of other things, about what he was leaving behind and what lay ahead of him. He was, as it were, surprised by God. Jacob is someone with whom we can identify. Not everyone can aspire to the loving faith and total trust of an Abraham, or to the seclusion of an Isaac. But Jacob is someone we understand. We can feel his fear, understand his pain at the tensions in his family, and sympathize with his deep longing for a life of quietude and peace. The point is not just that Jacob is the most human of the patriarchs, but rather, at the depths of his despair, he is lifted to the greatest heights of spirituality. He is the man who encounters angels. He is the person surprised by God. He is the one who, at the very moments he feels most alone, discovers he is not alone, that God is with him, that he is accompanied by angels. Jacob's message defines Jewish existence. It is our destiny to travel. We are the restless people. Rare and brief have been our interludes of peace. But in the dark of night, we have found ourselves lifted by a force of faith we did not know we had, surrounded by angels we did not know were there. If we walk in the way of Jacob, we too may find ourselves surprised by God. Can you hear that song?
Can you hear it? So,
And we will have a Mishaberach now for people who need healing. And as I move my hand around the room, please name anyone who might be in need of healing. Anyone else? And Shauna Forrester Smith. And we will continue with the Mishaberach.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imoteinu mikol habracha lamoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
And please rise for Elena.
Aleinu l'shabeach Adon hakol, לתת גדולה לוטה בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו גהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לבני מלך חי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגפי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
Please remain standing. We will conclude with the mourner's prayer, the Kaddish Yatom, and I will ask if anyone has a name that they would like to add. I will. Other than, okay, and what's that? Sorry. Reva McWilliam, yes. And tonight's yurtsites are Joseph Frank, father of Jeff Frank, Eva Natch, grandmother of David Salita, Ethel Elston, mother of Judy Johnstone, Isidore Peltz, father of Harvey and Cheryl Peltz, Maurice Elson, father of Judy Johnstone, Fega Fund, child Shoah victim, Joseph Benjamin Altner, father of Sandra Altner, and we are in Shloshim for Yudi Hendelef, grandfather of Gabriel Hurley. And we turn now can't remember what page that is. To 598. And our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Yit gadal v'yit gadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'yimru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'alam al mei amaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit ramam v'yit naseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha brichu. Le'alam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Please be seated. And we have a few announcements. On next Friday, December 20th at 7:30, there will be a Kabbalat Shabbat led by Ruth Livingston and Janet Pelche-Getz. On this Sunday, December 15th, from 1 to 3, we will be having our Temple Shalom Mitzvah Day, and we will be led by Ruth Livingston making Hanukkah cards for the residents of Simpkins Center. Families are welcome. And I've done this year after year, and it's a lot of fun. So if you want to get your hand into crafts, you can bring your kids, and they'd really enjoy it. So come on out. We have a special opportunity to participate in Tikkun Olam this holiday season. We will be collecting warm socks, mittens, scarves, and hats, and packing holiday lunches for street links to distribute on Christmas Day. Clothing can be dropped off at the temple. Lunch packing will take place at the temple on December 22nd at noon. And Friday, December 27th at 6 p.m., there will be a special Hanukkah Kabbalat Shabbat service led by Miriam Saitman and Janet Pelche-Getz, followed by our famous Latka potluck. Bring your Chanukiah, your appetite, and your kids. So we will have our Kiddush and our Hamatzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho v'avahu v'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'masei v'reishit, ki hu yom tehila l'mikrei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim.
Mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'havtahu ratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat Amen. A little sweet. Want to do the bracha with me? Come on. Where's your brother and sister? Come on now.
Oh, there's one coming.
Come on up. Okay. Hold breath. Oh, good job.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
There, good. Would you like a piece? Let's give me some. Go ahead, you take a little bit. Dig in. Should we give it a tear? No, we're not gonna, we just tear. Have a piece.
Why is there a knife?
I know, just whatever. That's it. Want that piece? There you go. Very good.
No, I split mine in half.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's very generous. Okay, good. And I'd like to thank Janet Pelchagetz, our
My
intrepid cantor,
asthmatic
who's
cantor.
doing her best. Our tech crew, Erwin, Evan, Judith, Steve, and our office staff, Bernie and Cynthia, for helping us to make this Shabbat successful, I hope. And we're going to finish off with our closing song, Adon Olam. And please go down. No, there is no oneg. No oneg tonight. No oneg for you. Okay. So tonight there is no oneg, but next time there will be. So we'll finish off with Adon Olam.
Well, you're going to have to help me out here. Clearly,
Absolutely.
clearly. Adon olam asher malach, b'terem kol yetzir nivra, li'ed nosav v'chefso kol. Azai melech shemo nikra. ויהי שם וירא ויברכי יגיעתי אדוני ולא יירא.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.